Hi there, hope you're doing really well. Anyway, there's nothing more satisfying than watching anime fights. The crispest animation, dramatic dialogues, jaw-dropping action scenes, just everything. Don't call yourself an anime fan if you don't feel the same. But yeah, if you do feel the same, here are the top 10 best anime fights ever. Remember, each individual harbors their own personal taste, and this is my taste. Let's go.
Yoshi, minna yarou!
Starting off, we have winning against the last boss in Sword Art Online Ordinal Scale. Finally, Kirito and the gang get the chance to face off against the final boss in Sword Art Online, the boss that no one's laid eyes on because they've yet to reach the 100th level. Even fans were curious about what or who the last boss was, especially since Kayaba was supposed to be it. Anyway, with the events that unfolded in the movie, they were sent to Sword Art Online because it revealed that if they beat the boss, they'll gain status rank 1 and be able to solve the current predicament. The final boss deserves its title because it really seemed like an impossible feat. It was huge with 10 life bars. It even had a regeneration skill. Seriously, how do you defeat a monster like that? Of course, if anyone could beat that boss, it had to be Kirito and the gang, right? Everyone gave a hand and together they defeated the boss. Seeing such cooperation really embodied what true online gaming should be. And after dealing the last blow, Kirito gains the title rank 1, and when he manifested in real life, it was just so epic seeing him as an invincible player defeating all monsters with a single strike. Coming in at number 9, we have Luffy versus Katakuri. This isn't the first time our beloved straw-hatted pirate convinces his enemy to take on the righteous path, or at least pointing them in the right direction. And that's exactly what we're witnessing here. The clash between the two is just as focused on the physical fight as it is on the even more important ideological conflict. Luffy's goal is to become the Pirate King. Not because he wants to rule over everything and everyone, but to ensure his family and his crew get a free and safe life. Katakuri, on the other hand, has a toxic family that's as worse as it gets, living in fear of their crazy mother who gives the word family a new, twisted meaning. Overall, the Luffy versus Katakuri fight's about their motivations, dreams and goals, and what it means to be your true self. In the end, Katakuri understands that Luffy's not his enemy, but rather a foe who helped him be his true self. It's stuff like this that, over 20 years in, still makes One Piece worth talking about. At number 8, we have Tanjiro versus Rui. Throughout the fight, Tanjiro uses all his water movements against Rui, but nothing seems to work. His blade breaks and his sister's suspended by wires while her blood drips. Tanjiro has enough and as a last resort uses his father's dance to summon flames, and Nezuko makes her blood ignite and burns all the wires attaching her. With both of these movements combined, Tanjiro's able to reach Rui and even try to slice his head, and after believing that he did, he collapsed on the floor with Nezuko. The stunning animation and soundtrack, as well as the indestructible brother-sister bond the siblings share that help them cut through Rui's webs, lead to the tear-dropping family reunion. Next up, we have Saitama versus Lord Boros. Saitama ventures on the alien ship alone and punches each and every alien that comes his way. Finally, he meets Lord Boros, the leader of the ship. He informs Saitama that he's the dominator of the universe and was looking for a strong contender who can size up to him. According to the prophecy, Lord Boros knows that his match could be found on Earth. The fight ensues between Lord Boros and Saitama. Saitama uses a weaker form of punches on Lord Boros, which he sustains and recovers from in a jiffy. Then Lord Boros charges himself on Saitama, claiming that he's using his final power and energy to damn Saitama and Earth to hell. In response, Saitama decides to use his killer punch to end it. And we all know who wins, don't we? It's not even a surprise anymore, but the action sequence looks magnificent on screen. Meliodas versus the Ten Commandments takes the number 6 spot. Since the beginning of the journey, Meliodas started to gain back his powers slowly. He was banned from the demon world a long time ago because he took an interest in humans. He was bound to be the king of demons one day, but that all changed when he was banned. After the Ten Commandments were released, their main goal was to end Meliodas' life and punish him for his betrayal. And so they did. Meliodas was standing alone, fighting all of the demons. He was unleashing his powers as well. At first, he was holding back to use a counterattack and end them all, but because of Esterosa's power, he couldn't send his revenge counter and ended up being defeated for the first time. He fell to the ground and Esterosa stomped him with his foot to kill all of his hearts. Up next, we have All Might versus All for One. As gorgeous and hyped as the fight is as a visual spectacle, there's lots of emotion behind each blow as these symbols of peace and evil clash. It's one of the most intense battles in anime history, not just in My Hero Academia. Punches are thrown, a city gets destroyed, and the two use their flashiest moves on each other. The fight rages on, but All Might's weakened state catches up to him. As the two exchange blows, All Might lands a clean hit on All for One and destroys his mask. All Might ultimately defeats him using the United States of Smash, the most powerful attack in his arsenal. All for One's out cold and All Might stands victorious. My Hero Academia continues to amaze, and this fight's the perfect send-off for All Might as the symbol of peace. Coming in at 4, we have Ichigo versus Ulquiorra. This is from the all-time favorite anime series Bleach. The scene that involves our protagonist Ichigo sees him battle with Ulquiorra. The fight seems to be over before it starts as Ulquiorra's powers are more superior. Though he takes a beating, Ichigo stands tall but finally suffers defeat with a hole in his chest. As his lifeless body lies on the ground, Orihime screams for Ichigo to get up and help her, refusing to accept that he's dead. As she continues to scream Ichigo's name, his hair begins to grow longer and his arms move. This is an awesome moment as Ichigo mentally tells his body to stand up. Transformed into a new humanoid hollow form, Ichigo responds by roaring towards Ulquiorra. Possessed with rage, he rips off his left arm as Orihime and Uryu look on in horror. Ichigo slashes Ulquiorra across the chest, cutting off his left ear in the process. At 3, we have a fight scene that sees the two stubborn fighters, Naruto and Sasuke, fight it out. At the heart of the series is the relationship between Naruto and Sasuke. Both coming from similar backgrounds, the two have always wanted to acknowledge each other as peers, but their egos keep getting in the way. The scene sees the two fighters squaring it out in an epic clash in the Valley of the End, using all of their powers. Each of the fighters employs the use of their chakras for one final attack. The fight is pulsating and thrilling. At number 2, we have the beaming spectacle of a reality-shattering brawl between Broly and the new badass fusion transformation of Goku and Vegeta, cleverly named Gogeta. A fight that broke the world, literally. The awesome mixture of 3D and 2D animation complements the epic fights in this movie, making every blow significantly more impactful and realistic. The battle of these two Super Saiyan Titans tears through the fabric of space itself, breaking through multiple dimensions before arriving back in the real world. Just as we thought they couldn't top themselves, Dragon Ball yet again raises the bar with an over 9,000 level of high action, setting it nearly impossible to surpass for any future installments to come. And finally, at number 1, we have Netero vs Meruem. Hunter x Hunter is full of fantastical battles and action, but the one that stands above all with fans is definitely Netero vs Meruem. Meruem's claim of checkmate to Netero comes as they fight to the death. In his final stand, Netero activates his most powerful attack, the Zero Hand, which does little to no damage to the king. Aged 110, Netero landed thousands of clean hits during their fight before Meruem was able to lay a finger on him and even continue to hold his own after losing a leg. Throughout the series, we're shown how Nen has endless uses and is incredibly versatile in its application. However, just because something is versatile doesn't mean that it is all-powerful. The ending of this fight shows that Nen can go so far in terms of damage as the limits of human spirit and strength are limited. On the verge of dying, Netero sticks 2 fingers in his chest, thus activating his final attempt for retaliation. Meruem moves away to escape, realizing that he'd been on checkmate since the beginning. A powerful bomb deactivates the miniature Rose, destroying the field in which they're fighting. And with that, the list comes to an end. The question is, are there more legendary fights? Yes, of course there are, but I couldn't add them all to this list. If you want to see more, make sure this video reaches 2,000 likes and I promise you I'll come up with volume 2. Also, mention the fights you feel should be in the next list. On your way down, be sure to like, share and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon to never miss my new uploads. I'll see you next time on the TV Regent.